Oh, that's actually a semi over. Buttons do 4 things. Each one.
Flakes.
Okay, here we are tonight, preparing our last. Is it recording? Yeah. Preparing our last dinner from Plated. It's roasted mustard pork with spaetzle and carrots.
Show them the picture.
And there's not even really seasoning on the carrots. We're going to add some of our own stuff because, frankly, I'm worried
Maybe, I don't know.
This is going to be just as bland as the other 3 we've gotten from Plated.
What's bland?
Bland.
Bland.
Bland. So, like I say, I guess the best way to sum up Plated's food is like old
Bland.
country. Bland. Old country.
No, for instance, this is Spaetzle, and the only flavor that goes in here is butter. That's at the end. That's fine, but it's like just 2 tiny, tiny little pats of butter. And then carrots with only salt. And the only thing they gave us and then the only actual season they gave us was 2 packets of Dijon mustard and some thyme and fennel seed to marinate our pork in. That is the only thing that came with this, was butter, carrots, spaetzle, and pork, mustard, and fennel seed. That was it.
So we still got leftovers from the first night, which I'll probably eat for lunch tomorrow because I don't want to get away.
And I actually added a little bit more Dijon mustard just because there wasn't much. And I marinated it for like 2 days because we didn't want to make it yesterday. So right now it's telling me to peel the carrots, right?
Yeah, that's where we're at. So, prepare ingredients. Bring large pot of water to boil, which we have boiling.
We're doing
Peel
it.
carrots and cut crosswise into 1/4 inch slices. Rinse pork and pat dry on paper towel. Why would we rinse it? We've been marinated.
Well, it's because we marinated it first.
Oh.
I did all that.
Yeah, but you're supposed to marinate it before.
No, it says you can do it if it's at room temperature for 10 minutes, right after you rinse it and pat it dry.
Yeah, so you.
But I've already done all that.
So then, so you already know what you need to do there. You're going to cut up the carrots and all that. I'll go to the step 2. Step 2 is in a small bowl, stir together the Dijon mustard. Oh, we already did that. That's basically. I'll read it for the camera. Stir up the Dijon mustard and the spice packet. Spread over the top of the pork. Set aside and marinate for 10 minutes at room temperature or overnight if it's in the fridge. Now we're to step 3. Cook the carrots in the spaetzle. While the pork marinates, add carrots and a generous pinch of salt to a pot of boiling water. Blanch until carrots are bright orange and slightly tender, about 2 minutes. Using a slotted spoon, remove and set aside. Return to the pot of water to boil, and then add the spaetzle and cook until tender. So I'm going to go ahead and put the carrots. Oh, you're still cutting the carrots.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything with the carrots right now.
Then we're going to put the spaetzle in and cook until it's tender, about 8 minutes, then drain and set aside.
And I don't have a peeler, so I'm using my little slicer, my shredder. So you can throw all that away if you want. I'm going to cut the carrots.
Waste.
Ready?
So now we're going to pour all the carrots in.
Whoops.
Oh
well.
Set the timer for 2 minutes.
Let me get this one out of the way.
And we need to add a pinch of salt.
I did add salt to the water already, but I can add more.
Oh, okay. So they should be a nice,
slightly
bright
tender.
Orange and lightly tender.
Slightly.
Slightly tender.
I don't think they're tender.
Not tender?
No.
Not ready yet?
They're really hard.
Alright, so now
I put the spaetzle in. Is that what it says?
Yep. I'll read it just to be sure. It says now, after you take out the carrots, use a slotted spoon, remove and set aside. Add spaetzle and cook until tender for about 8 minutes.
What is the heat supposed to be on? What was the carrot supposed to be on? Because apparently it's the same, right?
Pot of boiling water and blanch until they're bright orange. It doesn't say to change anything.
Okay. I'm not going to have it boiling as much as it was, but...
You didn't turn it down, did you?
No, I'm going to turn it back up. I did, but...
It says we gotta cook it for 8 minutes. While that's doing that, we're going to pan roast the pork. Heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil in medium pan over medium heat. Season pork on both sides with salt and pepper. When the oil is shimmering, add the pork mustard side down and cook until brown on outside and cooked through, about 3 minutes per side. Remove from pan and cover with foil. Keep warm and set aside.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
And pepper.
Salt and pepper?
Would you like a little pepper? Would you like a little pepper? A fresher pepper?
Okay, I'm gonna put it in like this.
And flip it.
Yeah. Ow!
Well,
Freaking
what did
ow!
you think would happen?
Okay. What's it supposed to be on for the heat?
You gotta put salt and pepper on that side too.
I know, I'm going to. What's it supposed to be on for the
Medium
heat?
heat.
Where's medium?
Right there where the word is.
I can't see any of that, John.
Oh, you can't see a mark at all?
No.
Okay, well that's medium. Alright, and then we put salt and pepper on that side. And basically we cook until brown on the outside and cook through, about 3 minutes per side. So we're at, we'll say 6 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And when it gets down to 3 minutes, we flip it. So now we drain the Spaetzle. You ready?
Mm-hmm. And so what is the heat we have to have it on?
I'll leave medium. I'll show you in a second.
Medium high, I thought.
I heat that thing. Like just beat twice and stop. Okay, so this is done. Okay. Well, it's up to you. I think it's done. I think it's ready.
Okay. There's 6 pieces of pork, that's why I said that.
Okay, so now we put the carrots in there.
Can we put more oil?
Hold on. So I just put the meat on a piece of foil and wrap it so to keep the heat in. Alright, so yeah, we put the carrots, medium heat, cook until golden brown. Doesn't say to add any more oil.
Rolled in?
Add salt and pepper as needed. That's all it says.
Okay.
Oil probably won't hurt though. Spaetzle. Brown without stirring for 3 minutes. Add butter and then stir until golden, 5 or 10 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes more. So after 3 minutes, you add the butter. All right. So do we have our butter out?
I don't know what heat we're supposed to have this at.
I would assume you have to change it.
How much butter?
The butter, it says 2 packets.
Oh, whatever
we
that
don't
meant.
have. Yeah.
So we're just going to add butter.
Yeah, and it says basically now you're going to stir until golden for 5 to 7 minutes. So this was actually a pretty quick one.
It could have possibly been 40 minutes, but still, it was quicker than what they said. But we had already marinated the meat. But it was actually quicker, though. It really was.
Yeah, this was quicker.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
see that.
I've got a noodle stuck on my foot. Oh, it looks nice on the plate, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just like take the Spaetzle and eat it with the pork? Because I can't imagine the
guess, I don't
Spaetzle
know.
by itself is going to be kind of bland.
2.5 of the pork.
All right. Okay. This one actually redeemed itself surprisingly.
Did it?
The Spaetzle by itself, I'm sure, would not be great, but when you take the Spaetzle, put it on the fork, and put a little bit of the pork is really good. Spaetzle adds the extra noodle texture to it.
4.7 ounces. Got it.
I think, surprisingly, this one gets a 7.
You can have that piece.
This is not bad at all. This seasoning on this pork is amazing, I think. All right, what do you think, Robin?
7.5 or 8.
Robin gives it a 7.5 or 8. What do you
8.
think? 8?
Yep.
So T gives it a 6. This is still not quite her favorite food. Now, I really wish the other food we'd gotten from Plated was this good. And maybe, again, it was just bad menu choices for this week. Like I say, I recommend anybody at least trying their introductory to see. If the other meals were this good, then I would have no qualms. Because this is surprisingly simple, but surprisingly really, really pretty decent. So, I'm going to say this particular meal, Robin gives an 8, I give a 7. Tiana's still not a fan of it, but this is more along the same caliber of flavor and, you know, taste that we saw from HelloFresh. HelloFresh was more consistent. Every meal was a 7 or 8 with us on HelloFresh. Now, my initial taste of them the next day, you know, after the evening was done, I was able to reflect on the whole experience. Maybe I rated it a 7 the day before, but when I thought back on the next day, I rated it an 8. And part of that was the experience as well. The menus are definitely easier. There's something easier about HelloFresh. I'm not sure what it is, but it just seems easier for us. Again, it's a different menu layout, a different menu style. It doesn't mean that HelloFresh is necessarily better. Everybody's different, and you know, other people may like these menus much better than HelloFresh's. I do like the fact that these menus are bigger and easier to read. But they for some reason seem with a little harder for us to interpret, and I don't know that they're necessarily difficult. It's just they're different. So anyway, that's our review for Plated. Next week is Home Chef. Thank you.
Keep that